Once it was put together.
Okay, you are all set. I'm going to make you host.
Okay, thank you.
I've tried, and the only way.
Matt, I'm gonna mute you because of the background noise.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So
Sorry.
If you want to jump in, just start waving your arms and
Okay, will do. Thank you.
I know you.
okay. He's being recorded. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, I think we can get the meeting started. Got two guests here tonight. I see Tom Perkins, one of the principals at the Foundry, one of the owners, president, I believe. Tom, you can unmute yourself if you want to say hi.
Hi.
Okay, good.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming on. And we've got another guest here, Bud Anthony. Now, I know Bud Anthony, went to school with him, but I don't know if this is one of the developers. Yeah. Bud, you want to unmute yourself? Let's see if I can do that. Bud Anthony has to unmute. Okay, I'm unable to unmute Bud Anthony. So I don't know if it's something that I can do from here. Hopefully he'll be able to do it, or make himself visible and do some waving, and we'll try to figure it out again. Okay, I don't know where Sherry is tonight, but we'll get started. Obviously, Tom, you know, we were down there Thursday and Friday. Yeah, I was down there with Jeff. He had a chance to, Jeff Marion. He had a chance to see some iron being poured. Gina Gasconi was very impressed. I was wondering if you had had any further correspondence with the developers concerning our memorial, our attempt to memorialize the Foundry.
Not this week or last week, no. But prior to that, yes.
Yeah.
And they want to come down and see what we can offer to memorialize the place.
Yeah. Well, you know, Jeff, it was Jeff's first time seeing iron being poured, and I remember my first time I saw it, and I was very impressed by it. And you know, you've lived with it for the last 40 years, but you know, I know there was a little bit of conversation that, gee, there's got to be something. Maybe there's something we can do with what we've got here. And we're looking around the buildings and so forth. But my feeling, yes, we'd like to see something in the development that would be a memorial of some kind. But we'd also be open to entertaining thoughts, you know, rather than trying to set up some type of a museum or take up a lot of space in one of the function rooms or one of the meeting rooms or whatever down there. If we could talk to the developer about possibly them making a contribution of some kind towards the Ironworks Park. And that'd be something that more people could enjoy rather than just the residents of the development that's going to go on at 180 Broad Street. That was an idea that came up.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure they don't want a bunch of people traipsing around the place looking at pictures inside their buildings and everything who don't live there. but we'd like to see something there that the residents would be aware of or made aware of. I wish I could get this, this Buddy Anthony was signed on. Bud, can you talk? Who are you? Are you the Buddy Anthony that I know, or are you one of the developers? We don't know that that name look familiar, Tom?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, Jeff, do you have any comments on some of the neat things you saw down there, or what direction we should be heading in?
Well, I loved seeing it. Thank you for inviting us. And, you know, I was just seeing it in person made me remember that when I first volunteered on the commission, I did a quick search, you know, to check on Bridgewater's history. And one of the first things that popped up was the ironworks. So it seems like to me, it's a really big part of Bridgewater history, and something really ought to be done to memorialize it and honor it.
I know, Jeff, you were very impressed with a lot of things that you saw down there and everything. And I kind of get the impression that you wanted to see something more right there rather than at a different location or whatever.
Well, I was just spitballing different ideas as I kind of just walked through and saw things. Like, I guess one of the ideas I had was taking some of the old moldings and like incorporating them into like a floor. You know, people walk out of the building, they'll see what they're, you know, walking on, where it came from.
You say molding. So exactly what are you talking about?
Is that what they're called? The big square things where you were pouring the iron in?
The molds. The molds themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would make a pretty cool like floor. And then Dave, you mentioned that Civil War era building. Like that ought to be preserved somehow.
Which one's that?
Well,
the brick wall one, the brick building.
The pattern shop, Tom, with the locker room and everything up overhead. It's the building he's talking about. I've seen the plans for the project. I don't think that that's something that would. I think it would take a major redesign to build around that, and I think the amount of money that would have to be put into that building to make it usable for anything inside the development.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I think it would be. I would rather see a huge amount of money like that put into some kind of a contribution towards our Ironworks Park. Now,
yeah,
I don't know how much we can enlist the help of the Mr. Ruley from Community Development. He claims to have had a lot of input into helping with the design of the project, although he came into it a little late. But I guess he helped redesign things down there. So I don't know how much influence he would have with talking with the current development team as far as some type of a contribution towards our Ironworks Park. I have no idea numbers wise. I don't know what the developer is going to set aside for this memorial. I don't know what they want to put into it. Probably as little as possible, but we got to get the job done. So whatever we go for. But I think it'd be really good to have it, my opinion, to have it in a public place rather than a private place. The majority of our memorial efforts.
Yeah, I hear that.
So, well, it looks like we've lost
Bud.
Mr. Yeah, Bud, it's too bad.
I think Matt has his hand up.
Oh, yes. Let's see. Let's get him unmuted here.
I got it.
Okay.
Did everybody hear me?
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, I was thinking about this, and the industry being such a pivotal part of our history, when unfortunately that time does come for Perkins to shut its doors, working with the town to get some type of celebration. Have we thought about that? Has that been floated as an idea?
Well, I'll throw it out to Tom. I know that the Perkins boys are pretty modest people. They get the job done, and they're not looking looking for a party. But
No,
We've always kept our heads pretty low.
yeah,
Yeah. We just kind of do our thing, and the less people who knew, the better.
well, that always works good dealing with town government.
But I like the idea about the park. I think the park's a better idea than because people coming in and out of that whatever with the development. I mean, the park's made for a foundry, right? So
Right.
It makes sense to put things down there.
Yeah,
And, put it all together.
yeah. Possibly we could get some artifacts that would be headed for the scrapyard. Some things out of your place that
Right.
would look nice on display down there, rather than the middle of a lawn in the middle of an apartment complex.
All right, and they have no idea what they're looking at.
Right. Yeah. And we've got some people in town that are trying to set up a trail between the Stiles and Hart property through your property up across Oak Street and into the Ironworks property, preferably
nice,
along the sewer easement. So it could enhance your development, also giving them access to it. Nice place to go on a Sunday afternoon. They can get across the railroad tracks without getting killed.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. You have the property already in place.
So I guess what we're going to have to do is just wait until the developer makes contact with you and throws out some suggestions and gets back to us. We don't want to hold them up, but we'd like to get some kind of a plan in place. Last meeting,
kind of
it
money?
was suggest.
Go ahead.
Pardon?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Last meeting, it was suggested that I go up and take a look at the Paul Revere Foundry up in Canton. And I went up with my daughter, and they've got it's a much smaller site than what you have. And it's a much smaller site than, it's probably on the order of our Ironworks Park, but they do have a couple nice buildings up there. But what they did was they surrounded the foundry property with, I'd have to guess 100 to 150 apartment units, similar to yours. And they've got the grounds all nice and landscaped and everything. But there was a sign up there that said part of the proceeds from the rental of those units comes back to the town of Canton. I don't know exactly what the structure is. I have no idea how much, whether we're talking $50 a month or, $10,000 a year or whatever it is. But it goes towards the maintenance of the park. And that's an idea that we'd like to throw out to the developer so that he can maintain the integrity of his apartments there. But at the same time, if there can be some kind of a revenue stream, how big or small it may be, towards the iron industry in our park. So,
Yeah. So what kind of just throwing out an idea. The perfect thing would be, repairing that building at the park and putting in some machinery in there, and maybe even make it like an art studio, or people get hands-on stuff in there.
Yeah. That's
It'd
exactly
be nice.
what's in the Revere building up in Canton.
Yeah, it sounds like
It's a learning
sounds
center.
like a yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be nice to have that in town.
Yeah. The thing that looks like it's holding them up in Canton, though, it's owned by the town of Canton. And that usually they're not in the recreation business or the park business. So I don't know how much that's impeding the future development. They've got some nice stuff up there. So that'd be another place if Jeff and Matt, if you could take a ride up there sometime, take the kids up. Off season, like the cold weather now, there is a restaurant on the property. So when the restaurant's open, the second floor of that building is open. Their rolling mill building, and they do have a museum that's open on Saturday. And it's a learning center. It's all free, and it's in the center of Canton. It's interesting, but I think it's something that an idea we should pursue a little bit more. But I guess I'm going to have to get a hold of the developer. We probably ought to, see if they want to come back in 2 weeks. I don't want to make it look like we're holding them up, but we'd like to start working towards some type of an agreement so we can keep this project rolling.
Well, yeah, don't hold it up.
No.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Whatever can happen would be. How much I can approach him too.
Yeah.
If you want me to.
Yeah. Just let him know that we'd like to hear from him and throw out some of these ideas, and we'd love to discuss it with them. They can call me anytime. You've got my number, and we can get things going.
All right.
And at the same time, I'll talk to Mr. Ruley and throw out the idea. He's looking mainly to develop commercial and residential property in town, but see if there's some way that we can work the further development of the park and tie it somehow into this project. Also, rather than try to build a museum at 180 Broad Street.
Right.
So
that sounds very good.
Okay. Any other comments? Anybody else wishing to say anything? Geez, we don't have the people that came in last time. We don't have anybody. Tom, do you know if Peter and David got my email? So I had sent it out to Henry Perkins at hotmail.com.
You got it. Yeah, which day? Which email?
Well, at the same time I sent yours out. Yours had your name in front of it, but
about this meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like I say, we keep our heads down low.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to get something done without them. And did you also get the email about the meeting with the Industrial Archaeology Group?
I did.
Okay. Well, we can talk about that later, as long as you got it.
Yeah, it's good. Yes.
Okay. Well, if there's nothing else on the Foundry, we could move on to other issues. I got 2 other things to bring up tonight. Any other questions on the Foundry? No. Okay. I spoke to.
I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you for showing up.
Looking at it.
Good night.
Yeah. Good night, Tom.
Thank you.
Good night.
I spoke with the library today, and they do have their archivist working. She's working at the library now. So we got somebody coming in? No, I guess I'm hearing things. Okay, so the archivist is there. I plan on going up there tomorrow morning to see if she's working on Wednesdays. I know the last archivist we had didn't work on Wednesday mornings. I think she came in later in the day and stayed into the evening, but I'll check on them. I don't know her name at this time, but hopefully we'll be able to meet her soon, and we can get her to come to one of our meetings. And the other issue, well, I guess we'll get 2 other issues. The other issue is our request to the town council to be changed from advisory to ministerial. I'm told that there is a package being assembled for action in May.
All right.
It's the first time I've got a specific month to bring this to fruition, but supposedly it's in with a bunch of other items, but I can see where we have an election coming up. We've got some new councilors coming on board. So it's new council members. So it wouldn't surprise me if things might be delayed a little bit before they vote. Somebody might say, well, it's too soon to ask people who are just coming on the board. I think there's 3 new members coming on. Gallagher, Moore, and I forget the other one that's stepping off the board. I think it's one of the women, but I could be wrong. So anyways, we got that, and there was another item that went through my mind. My agenda here. It's not here. Let's see, the letter. Archivist. Nope, that's it. Can't think of the other thing. Okay, so we have on the agenda, we have something written here for public comment. And there's nobody other than our board members, commission members here for public comment. If there is any other comments or any questions or anything, speak up or forever hold your peace. New business. I am not aware of any new business other than the archivist is finally online. Additional items for discussion. I did write, after the last meeting, I did receive some comments. People couldn't get on, and I've got that now. Josh has made it possible for me to admit people as they try to get on. There was a resident from the NIP area who was at our meeting, but she wanted to know why we hadn't written anything to MIPA concerning the history of the stone chamber. Well, I have since written to MIPA, letting them know that we want to see a copy of the PAL report, the Public Archaeological Lab report on the stone chamber. It's my understanding that the latest set of plans that have been preliminary plans that have been issued to the planning board call for the preservation of the stone chamber. They're going to build around it rather than demolish it. And I think we were told about 4 or 5 months ago that they were going to demolish it. Well, I don't know why they're going to work around it now. I have no idea. But I've written to both Kearney Corporation, the proponent of the project, and MIPA, asking for a copy. Just let them know that we are very interested in it, and we're looking for a copy of that PAL report, if only just the text. And I had heard that they had done some borings up there, so I'd be more than happy to take a look at what the borings, what they might have found. So as far as the next meeting date, it'll be in 2 weeks. And the date would be February. 2 weeks will be March 5th. And March 5th, yeah, March 5th. If the developers and the Perkinses aren't ready by that date, or if I can't get anything out of Mr. Rulli as far as his opinion on this memorial that we're trying to construct or trying to add to, if I don't get any feedback from any of them in the 2-week period, I'll let you know by email, and we'll skip the meeting. Unless you're aware of something, but I don't want to get into a meeting every 2 weeks if we don't have to. But if something comes up and you're interested, you want to discuss it, just let me know. So we'll be meeting on the 5th. I've heard nothing new on the hybrid meeting that Josh is supposed to be. We're going to be trained on, and the meeting will take place upstairs in the Academy building, or the town hall, I guess that's what they call it now. And there's supposed to be equipment there so that we'll be able to do a Zoom, and there'll be a place there for people who wish to attend. So that's in the works. I think it had something to do with training and so forth. So I'm not aware of anything else unless anybody's got any comments or ideas or anything. Jeff, you all set?
Yeah, I mean, I had some updates from the CPC.
Yes.
I know that the Central Square Congressional Church, they withdrew their applications, so they're not proceeding with their plans anymore. And there was the Stiles and Hart acquisition. A bid has gone out for that. And
that's the piece of property near the billboard on Broad Street.
I think so.
2-acre parcel.
I'm still not too familiar with these names, but I think that's where it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And apparently there's an issue with the freezes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can give you an update on those.
Okay, so you know about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're too heavy or something for the structure.
Well, I know. I was talking with Gina about it. Well, she mentioned something to us on Friday. The freezers that were repaired, the people who repaired them want their money, and we can't give them their money until we take delivery of them, and we can't take delivery of them until we get a place to put them. So
Right.
Gina has been bugging, how can I say that in a more professional way? She's been asking the town manager where these freezers can be delivered to in place, put in place. She originally, between her and Merrily Hunt, they had hoped that they would be in the foyer, be hung on the walls in the foyer of the Academy building. Just as you go in the door, they were going to be hung up high. But the town engineer, the town manager was supposed to have somebody make inquiries into whether the walls were strong enough to support them. I haven't heard officially that question has been answered. I know when we talked to Gina on Friday, I don't think she had a definitive answer other than the question is still hanging as to whether the walls are strong enough to support these things. As I remember, they're not all that heavy. I mean, they're probably 75 pounds or so, but it's, I don't know. We've got three engineers on the town payroll, and I should think somebody would be able to figure out how to mount these things on the wall, without having to go out to an architect to have a design provided. So, so Jeff, you mentioned Congregational Church, the Stiles and Hart property, and the freezers. Any other items?
That was it.
That was it.
That was it.
Okay.
That I have.
Yep. All right. Well, I think when I sign out of this meeting, I'm gonna lend an ear to the town council meeting, because Mr. Rulli was supposed to present the recommendations of the of community and economic development to the town council for consideration for voting on March 12th to accept this, the vision to reality, plans. So until March 5th, unless somebody has any other comments to bring up, we have a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Okay, we got a motion. It's been seconded. Any further discussion on the issue?
Nope.
Hearing none, I'll put it to a vote. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So gentlemen, we'll see you in possibly in 2 weeks.
All right.
Okay,
Right.
thank you for coming in tonight.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.